Hey, deserving listeners, 90-Day Fiancé. Before the 90 days, let's watch.
Conocerte y tú estabas allá sin conocerse persona. Y cada vez, cuando tú lo conociste, como que todo cambió.
Sí. Es como lo que él actúa, como él es. Me acuesto a dormir y siento que alguien me está viendo y me despierto y él está ahí viéndome como bicho raro. O sea, no duerme él ni...
So she's talked about this before, and we don't know the extent of his staring. Is it just that he is looking at her, or is he like just staring at her for 8 hours at a time? And what I'll say about that is that I'll tell you that if my wife were to do that to me, and I guess occasionally I do wake up and she's looking at me, that's fine because I love her and I don't mind. But if someone wasn't into someone and the first thing they saw was someone that was kind of invading their space and they don't want to be with them, then yeah, that would be really annoying. You know, just imagine someone that you don't like, you're not romantically attracted to, like standing over you while you wake up, and then imagine someone that you have a huge crush on or someone that you love doing that. You know, there's a different valence there. So there's that. That would be my suspicion as to when she says those things, that she, and people do this, that they will have a feeling like they're not in love, they're kind of done. And they look for excuses. They look for like data to back up their feeling rather than just saying, look, love is a magical feeling. The other thing I'll say is that, and I think I've said this before, that you can absolutely be in love and move into each other's space too quickly and have that actually cause a good relationship that otherwise might have, you know, like take a couple that is, you know, they're falling in love and they're in the first few months, and then you let them navigate the future naturally and say they move in after 2 or 3 years. And that's the natural point where it would be good for them to move in together and also kind of invade each other's spaces and to give up the freedom, to give up their own space. And for that couple, it was optimal if it was 2 or 3 years down the line. Then you take the same couple and you force them to live together after just knowing each other for like a couple weeks, which essentially is what this is, right? Because they're not in-person dating, right? So you could equate online flirting to not really equal the same amount of time as if you're in person, right? So let's say you force a couple together, even though they were going to work out anyway, and we know that because the alternative universe of them moving in together after 3 years, they actually work out. That can actually cause them to break up because it's too fast. It's too much, particularly if one person is just like, I like him at a distance. And then over time, I will warm up to there being more closeness and maybe moving in together. So maybe it's that.
Ximena, ¿qué a ti te gusta de él?
Yo lo quiero, o sea, el tiempo que llevamos, pues antes era diferente cuando él estaba allá. Ahora todo cambia por lo que, o sea, ya sé cómo es él, le gusta disfrutar, está uno acá así y él tiene miles de cosas degeneradas, cochinas, puercas.
So it's possible that if he weren't piggish, as she's calling him, that maybe it would have been fine, that the love would have progressed. You know, it's hard to know. I think it's more likely that she just had an emerging feeling that she wasn't into him, and these things that would aggravate her, even if she were in love, started to really highlight the fact that, you know, because if you are, you know, say you're sitting next to someone in an airplane and they do something with their bag as they're sitting down, you're just like, I don't really like this person. Like this is someone, or they're wearing a political shirt that you're just like, and you don't talk to each other, you don't interact, you're probably going to forget the person. You're not going to think much of the person. But let's say they start making noises. They start rummaging around in their bag. They sneeze. They start listening to their phone on speaker. Oh my goodness. And it's going to exacerbate the problem, right? You're going to be like, who does that? Whereas if you're in love with someone and they do those kinds of things, you might be annoyed, but you're not going to be like, I don't love them anymore, right? Anyway, I think we all understand that.
No sé cómo explicarle a él que cambie todas estas cosas.
I asked her what she likes about you, and instead of her saying something that she likes about you, she went with something that, naming the things that she doesn't like.
Yeah, that's telling. And it's one of the things that I will use as an assessment tool for couples or for individuals talking about their relationships. I, in my career, have had a lot of clients coming to me with a conundrum of should I stay or should I go, essentially. And through the exploration, one of the things that you can ask to get a bead on where someone's heart is, well, tell me something positive, or what do you love about your partner? If all they say are the negative things, it kind of says something, right?
Dejaste de trabajar.
Sí.
Mike, you didn't tell me that before.
What happened?
When you guys met, she stopped working, and then you've been basically supporting her and her kids and paying her rent and everything. Is that what you've been doing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think the way he was depicting it was that he was just kind of helping out here and there. But from that description, he's paying for everything. He's paying her entire, Ximena's entire, all her living expenses, her rent, her kids, everything. So, that's, of course, fine and not even necessarily ill-advised, given especially that first time when he went down there, they were in love, they're engaged, it seemed like things were on the right track. So it's not unwise for him to be that way. But I think now that Ximena no longer loves him, then, she now has to figure something else out.
I hope you stop paying for all her stuff. She's literally disgusted by you, and I don't think she's happy with you, and I don't think that she has love for you.
Yeah, Mike's friend is being very appropriate, very healthy, very helpful. She's cutting right to the chase, and it's rare that we see these kind of scenarios. And, she speaks Spanish, so she can get the nuances from Ximena and have that back and forth. And so I'm really glad that Mike has her in his corner and is getting that help. Because, I didn't show the scene, but he called her husband, which is his friend, and he was just like, come on, bro, you can't be with her. And it wasn't, I don't know, it was just kind of like typical friend telling him, you got to leave her. She's just in it for the money. But she is actually like getting into the specifics and I think being really helpful to Mike. Although she was going into the whole money thing, which is frequent, and I get it, but there's some kind of obsession with people on the show sometimes of just like, how much money are you giving her? Like, what are you paying? And although, that is a consideration, I don't know, it just always seems, I feel like people have an orientation towards money and fairness, and because so often the family members or the friends will be like, so you met this person from another country. Did you give her any money? Because if you did, that means she doesn't really love you. She's just scamming you. It's the kind of assumption. It's like, well, if you're in love, can't you share your things? Could there be a scam? Sure. But, if you love someone, you and I would hope that if I didn't have any money and Stacy had more money that she could share with me, I would hope that she would give me that money. Does that mean I'm scamming her? I don't know, just a funny visualization, me scamming my wife. I have been all this time.
She's not there for the right reasons.
All right. I'm probably gonna see when the next flight out is.
Yeah, I think you should.
Hallelujah. I mean, I think this is the right choice. And we'll see what Ximena says, but I'm guessing that when he's like, so I guess that's it, I'm going home, I'm guessing she's not going to fight it. If she does, then it'll change the scenario, right? Hopefully she wouldn't be fighting it for the wrong reasons, but I don't think she's going to fight it. I think she's going to be like, okay, see ya, I'm going to go to the club.
All right, thanks, Nelsie.
Nos vemos, Ximena, entonces te cuida.
Chao, te cuidas.
Bye.
Te cuida? Is that take care? Should I say it in different languages at the end of every episode?
I just want to say I'm going to give you the space that you want. I just hope we could still talk and just be friends.
Yeah, good for Mike that he's able to see it. He gave it a good shot. He wanted to make sure. And I think he now knows. And I think he's going to go home and maybe he'll find someone in his town.
¿Tú me estás terminando?
Cliffhanger, of course. Anyway, let me look it up. How do you say it? Cuidate. Cuidate? Cuidate? Take care of yourself. Cuidate. That's the same. Because cuidate porque te lo mereces. ¿Mereces? ¿Mereces? Porque te lo mereces. Because you do. You really do.